This is Leopold Mtero. I'm a law student at Air Africa University, and this is my second year. So, as part of a requirement, I'm presenting to you a topic: the impact of digitalization on taxation. This is a very interesting topic because it cuts across a lot of sectors. And today, I'll try my best to try to dissect it so that you also as readers, you can be able to understand, to hear, and to grasp something new. So, to begin with, what then is digitalization? Digitalization is vast. And when we talk about a digitalized economy, what are we talking about? You see that when talking of a digitalized economy, it's very difficult to define it because it's very broad. But what I have researched or what I've looked at when I was going through it, I learned that we can only understand a digitalized economy from looking at its various sectors that the economy has, like manufacturing, agriculture. All these are then sectors. But then within these sectors, we now look at how they have digitalized, how the impact of digitalization is to them. So each impact of each sector, for example, manufacturing, when it is affected by digitalization, it means there is more technology being applied. There is more usage of the internet in terms of manufacturing. What is its impact? When we are looking at the other aspect of the other sectors of the economy that we do have, what has technology done to it? What has it changed from its normal norm that we have come to understand it? So when defining now a digitalized economy, we are saying, how are all those sectors affected by the coming in of technology? And as upcoming lawyers, we are looking at how then this has an impact to us in the legal field. We're not only talking about us in the legal field, but we're also looking at other people that are affected by this. So in this presentation, I'm now looking at taxation because taxation is also a law. And as a law, how then is it affected by this economic digitalization? You will see that we don't only look at its broadness, but we also look at digital technologies, the impact, how goods and services are being produced. What it means is the number or volume of products that were produced maybe 10 years ago has increased because there is computerization. The more the products come into play, the more the revenue, the more the profits, because companies now are growing. We also look at digital transactions. These are not only transactions, we call them e-commerce. This is now the digital selling, the digital transactions that take place. Their growth has also an impact on taxation, because what happens now is when there is increased transactions happening in, there is also an impact on taxation. How are governments is going to be affected by this increase in taxation? How are they going to monitor? We now look at also taxation in general by definition. Taxation is a very sensitive term because we are talking of a government taking or taxing people, collecting revenue, because we know that governments can't have a business. How then do they raise revenue in order to cover for public services? All this costs money, and any government would need money for it also to advance. So what do? They tax, although it is involuntary because most people don't like to be taxed, but they have to be taxed. So this is by definition taxation. Now what I am trying to present to you is what the government is, how affected is it, looking at it that they are trying to raise revenue. At the same time, there is an increase in the economy, in the different sectors being affected by technology. So now when we look at it, we first of all have to look at the Constitution. What does the Constitution have to say? Does it allow people, the government, to tax? Because it is the supreme law of the land. Zimbabwean constitution, that section 302, it allows for the creation of a consolidated revenue fund. This now is where the authority to create the other acts, like the Income Tax Act, the VAT Act, the Capital Gains, all these other acts that support comes from the Constitution. So now, when we are now talking of income tax, we are now taxing the income of individuals, corporates, and all the people that are affected. But now, what then does this have to do with digitalization? Digitalization of these sectors has continuously been on the rise. We're also talking of the fourth revolution right now, where we are talking of AI, the coming in of AI and other technological advancement. But the government won't just be sitting. They have to come and be innovative to see how they can be able also to have access to where this increase in monies are being generated. And a very interesting or a game changer for most economies was the COVID-19. 2020, when COVID hit, it taught us something totally different. We're used now to be physical. We're used to being there to transact. But now with COVID, we could not be there. So but it could not stop the need to raise revenue. It could not stop the need to produce. So technology took over and now tried to cover that gap where we as individuals could not. So then what was then its impact? You will see now with governments, like the government of Zimbabwe, there was the coming up of e-taxis. Now, e-taxis was a great innovation because you could now submit your returns online. You could now apply your tax clearance even online. So there was no need for you to go to ZIMRA to actually see or submit any returns or make payments, because now payments were being made online. So when this then happened, it was the government's response to technology. And this impact is not idle, it's not alone. We are also looking at the coming in of mobile money, how then it increased, because there was a lot of transactions now that were done on mobile money. We're talking of EcoCash, now there is Inbox, there are other. How then can the government get revenue through that? You will see that, for example, in Kenya is one of the leading developing countries in Africa in terms of innovation. They developed a lot of platforms in order for people to have access, and this access enabled the revenue authorities to be able to generate the much needed revenue. And Zimbabwe is not is also following behind. But now with digitalization of the economy, it means that most of these transactions will now be done online. Where we used to have a till operator selling goods and charging VAT, the receipts being given to the person and then VAT being charged, this is now different when you have to do it at your home. At your home now, you can order something and that something comes at your own place. Now, how then can the government control that transaction? How then can it see or be able to charge and follow up to say you charged VAT? Previously, the authority would visit the shops, they would actually verify the books. But we are talking of someone who's doing everything through a laptop. Maybe that person is in an isolated place. How then does the government, like ZIMRA, come into play? This was part of my assignment to look at, to research. And I discovered a lot of things, because there are a lot of literature in terms of digitalization. There's a lot of literature concerned with e-commerce in all these platforms. And during that research, I also learned that the increase in technology, the increase in revenue generation has also increased issues of tax avoidance. As I said earlier, because you can trace someone who is in an isolated place, tax avoidance is when now you naturally plan how to reduce your tax burden. But then with tax evasion, this is where you are totally running away from your the tax authority. But then with technology, the coming in of technology, digitalization, the whole world has now become a global village. We are talking of Facebook. Facebook has got an impact in Zimbabwe. We are talking of the Inbox, the EcoCash, and the Amazon, all these other players. They are all coming into one place. Now, Zimbabwe has got territory. It has a territory. Zimbabwe is not the whole world. So how will it be able now to take Facebook? Facebook is in America. But then it's doing its transactions in Zimbabwe. It's actually increasing and generating revenue from our own people. Zimbabwe is supposed to benefit. But then this is where now you see the need of innovation in terms of tax authorities. And they are doing that. There are a lot of laws coming into play, not only laws in terms of taxation, in terms of ICT, and you will see this increase of innovation being necessitated by the push to cover that gap to be able to deliver to the people. But now, when such technology has increased, there's now a disadvantage because it creates a lot of loopholes. You will see that most people will not want to pay tax because they know ZIMRA can't see them, and ZIMRA doesn't have access to IP addresses and stuff. So ZIMRA and other tax authorities have been impacted. Tax evasion becomes real, tax avoidance becomes real, but also an increase in tax collections becomes also real, because it means those players that we also know, we are able now to create like in Zimbabwe, there's the fiscal devices where the companies are now using these devices so that ZIMRA can be able now to match and record the volume of transactions being done. So tax authorities have not been left behind. So it's up to you and me to be able to understand and grasp this wide topic. I know I cannot exhaust it, but this presentation was just done as an eye-opener to say it's a field that is grey. It is a field that needs research. It is a field that we need to explore. Even the legal fraternity, it is not only affecting the government in terms of taxation for now, but later on, as legal practitioners, we will be representing these companies. How then can we be able to go to court and argue with the tax authorities in terms of the taxes that were supposed to be due, but then they cannot be proven because they were done online, you see? So we need to think about it. And I just want to thank you for visiting my blog and my YouTube account. Continue studying, continue reading. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.